Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, capsuleers and capsulites, welcome to Crosstalk.
Banana Republic is recruiting.
That's right. I'm so sorry. I had a cold for the last few days, and I'm still trying to kind of get it out of my system. That's how I'm working right now. Not COVID. I didn't go to FanFest, but I'm. Anyways, this show tonight is primarily about FanFest and things that were announced at FanFest and things that could possibly be coming to EVE Online in the near to distant to not so distant future. We don't really know. We know a couple things, but we do have a panel of experts here. At least one of them hasn't logged in about 3 months. I'll let the other ones introduce themselves. Go and say, hey guys.
Come.
I hate you. You're like the worst person of all the people. Anybody else gonna say anything?
Hello. My name is Bill. I play Eve spaceships, and I've been on this show in its former self. Thank you.
Its former self. What are you talking about there? Talking about the show that will not be named?
Oh, I didn't realize it was that. It was like that.
I just want to say that if y'all could stop doing Galente missions so the worth of my LP goes up, that'd be great.
There's probably like 3 people who do that, and I guarantee you they're not watching Twitch.
I have to.
I can hope.
I have to get my approval first before I can get my candidate thread up.
I'm voting for you again, Brisk.
I thought it was instant that they approved it.
No, it's not instant. It's 72 hours. I mean, I put it in today, so.
Hey, Manic. How are you? I got a haircut today, and he actually ended up cutting it kind of like yours, and I was like, oh my god, Redline can't make fun of my haircut now because it's like Manic's. I didn't make fun
of your haircut last time. Anyways, so FanFest is over. It was, like a week of partying and hanging out with Eve nerds in Iceland, and a couple days of interesting things to talk about. So, who wants to talk about FanFest?
Can you put a list up of all the announcements? It's pretty long. I don't know if I can't remember a lot of them.
I can actually, Bill.
I'm honestly happy that during it, CCP Swift, when the CCP Swift came out and said, talked about World War B or Vietnam as it's more accurately called, and Fountain Frank just had to correct him. I think I just want to say thank you, Fountain Frank, for setting the record straight and keeping everyone honest.
I can't believe you would come here and say that out loud. It was World War B too. Everybody knows.
I don't know about that.
That's whatever. It's fine. So I do actually have a list. So CCP was kind enough to provide a dev blog of all the things that were announced at FanFest. Doesn't go into a lot of detail on the the roundtables and stuff, but it does go through pretty much everything else nicely. So the first thing that was supposed to be real big was the keynote. Did you get a chance to watch that, Bill?
I mean, there's so much information. I can't retain everything that came from that keynote. I believe that there was one thing. There was something mentioned about a faction warfare. Like the word, I think, was posted on the screen somewhere.
Yes, factional warfare was on the screen. They're looking at changing the way it works.
There was a something about a hangar. Wasn't there a new hangar?
That was one of the things that they looked at. Heraldry and updating your ship, a partnership with Excel, and then improvements to the UI and everything.
On a side note, didn't they just update the hangars like a year or so ago?
That was Jita.
Yeah, just Jita though.
Okay, I thought for some reason I was thinking maybe I just turned my game to high graphics for once and realized.
I'm gonna stop scrolling through this page. I know it's probably distracting. We'll start at the top and work our way down. So faction warfare is obviously the big thing that's coming out of FanFest. is that they're looking to update faction warfare. So probably I'd say the biggest thing that I've seen is this kind of an update to the way like these frontline systems work, I guess. And that was what today. That was today in the patch. So they basically make it like a capture the flag game, I guess. Can you see that on the screen there?
I think it looks sick. I think
It
FW's
does.
been in a dire need of rework for fucking years now. And it'll give people incentive to actually go and do it instead of hunting down cursor bots.
Right.
Sitting in fucking novice plexes all day. Because that's all it is now.
Yeah, I don't think
do it.
anybody's going to argue against the fact that faction warfare has been in need of a overhaul for the better part of a decade now. And I think that a lot of people could potentially, if this was set up, in a good way, like they're kind of explaining. I just need to see more details on it, though. I feel like there's very little detail that's been given about this.
And that is kind of the theme with everything that came through FanFest this year, though, is that there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of, hey, this is what we could do. This is what we might do. This is what we want to do. Not a whole lot of this is what we're doing, which is kind of scary to me. But I'm gonna be here for it to see like what happens, I guess.
I think it will fill a very interesting niche in the sort of mid-scale group zone. Do you know what I mean? Like, because Null-sec's relatively inaccessible to people that aren't massive these days, especially with the giant blocks. And
About to say my
with the way it's fucking going,
I mean,
maybe it's the
my
only place you can go.
my alliance is doing just fine in Null-sec, and we're pretty small.
Your alliance is in a giant block.
No, RC is not a giant block.
What's your
hate to be
alliance?
the very bad news. It's Hero Coalition.
Oh, so the alliance that openly recruits corporations filled with homophobic leadership. That group.
That shit, please.
That group. That one. Don't bring up that name in my presence.
Mean, we don't do that. So
okay. Okay.
Are you familiar with a person named Reticuli Zeta?
Ladies and gentlemen, Riker
yeah,
announcing to the world that Hero Coalition does not accept unsavory characters. Let's keep talking about FanFest before this devolves.
Please move on.
So anyways,
It's just
these front lines are pretty cool. They seem like they could be done very nicely. Now, from my understanding, like skipping through the heraldry stuff, we'll go back to that later. From my understanding, when they talked about arcs, fuck, where are the arcs? Are they up here? Arcs are on day one, right?
Well,
Yeah. So basically narrative arcs. I think what they're gonna try to turn faction warfare to is a battlefield for things like the Triglavian invasion. So rather than just have it be this, weird kind of anomalous thing that you can participate in if you want to, and you don't really know what happens, but something's going to happen at the end, they give you like this clear direction and say, hey, look, if you participate in this way and this happens, then this is what's going to happen to the game. So we actually get a chance to participate and to control the changes that come in based on our decisions.
But if you look at it, the Triglavian invasion was actually essentially a playtest of that concept, right?
it's a pretty good playtest. Not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun.
The end result was always going to be the same, but
did we talk about how the Interbus coin is basically a cryptocurrency?
I was going to wait to the end to bring it all back around. Let's get through FanFest
there yet.
Okay.
Well, but I do think it's going to be pretty cool if they can implement it in a way that actually does create some more content. The only issue is going to be is that this is going to be CCP narrative that's focused around like the NPC faction leaders. So it's going to be kind of countered at a sandbox.
I mean, missions, the NPC aspect of it, mission-wise, has been the same for since the beginning of the game. So any changes to this kind of sector of the game would be nice.
I'm fine with it from a sandbox perspective because I don't think there's anything wrong with giving players a narrative to actually incentivize them to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it could be fun, and I don't think it, like Scrapyard said, I don't think it really affects the sandbox. It just gives, more things to do.
Well,
Like the players still control stuff, and we still get to make the decision.
It depends
lot
how,
of
how much
the
freedom you get.
So a lot of the argument is if things are done similarly to how Poshvin was done. So, with the example of the Trig invasions and Poshvin, we were essentially given a choice, but we weren't told what that choice would mean in the grand scheme of things. So realistically, we didn't really get a fair shot at participating based on knowledge about what would happen. We just got cool red triangles and squares in blue ships. The Eden
Well,
comes.
I think we'll probably end up having the same thing where CCP will be like, yeah, we're not going to tell you the outcome of your actions, but like, have fun.
I mean, we got to decide which 27 systems were going to make up Pochvin. We got to decide,
But
which systems would be cut off.
Did you know that's what was going to happen when you were doing it?
I mean, not particularly, but at the same time,
That's
it's
the
like
point he was making.
We got to choose a side, and we did that, and it was fun.
Well, and here's the other thing, though, is that with that Triglavian invasion, weapons grade incompetence to say, it was scripted. So if nobody participated in that event, eventually the Triglavians would have won. And the Edencoms would have had to participate indefinitely to win. But, I mean, having a thing like that where you know that you control the outcome, and like, let's say you really don't want the outcome that happens if this other side wins, and it's just like, let's say it's a change that really benefits high sec versus a change that really benefits null sec, and it pits the two groups against each other in the battlefield as low sec. That'd be pretty funny and kind of awesome.
I mean, like, the thing though is, like, they were like, the Triglavians, I feel like we're always going to win no matter what, because they want to introduce a new region of space to the game without creating new systems, because I don't think Eve needs new system.
Right, Eve needs less systems, if anything. Adding that to the list. Less systems. Is that earning your vote, Scrap? Less systems in the game?
Well, define
I could
systems.
rescue myself.
Can you define systems, please?
Yes, systems in the video game of online. Like GTAR. Anyway, so that's faction warfare. That's a lot of what we got. Day 2, we had a ton more going into the faction warfare, but I'm sure the bulk of it was in the roundtable that day that CSP Aurora and a couple other devs had. But still in day 1, now you can talk about the Interbus coins, Mav. Go ahead and tell us what
can
you
you
think.
zoom in on the icon for the Interbus coin?
Dude, look how sick that skin looks though.
Once I see the coin, I don't think the coin's here, buddy. It might be on the second one. But anyways, so they're introducing a new currency, kind of right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it helps to see the picture of it, but like, they sold it as like, do I have to find it? Hang on.
Well, they sold it as a play to earn thing. Yeah, so we'll stay here. So basically, they're bringing heraldry to Eve, which is essentially a way that you can upgrade your ships, the look of your ships, as well as get like alliance skins on skins on structures, alliance logos on your ships, holograms, a bunch of cool stuff that you can get with the Interbus credits. And the Interbus credits can only be earned in game. They can never be traded between characters, sold, and they do not have a fixed exchange rate. So this is similar to like skill points.
They can be passed up to corps though, and alliances is what they were saying. So like, you can donate some. we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's for like corps to spend on their structures, though. But
Right, yeah.
I don't
I
know.
assume it was going
Apparently,
to a
you can
balance.
also like just convert items into yeah. Apparently, like ships and modules can be converted into them, which means that you can buy them because you just buy Plex and then you buy ships and modules and then you convert them into Interbus coin, and then like
Right, but it's intermediate.
bang.
Like it's not.
I mean, you're basically buying it. It's like saying you can't buy Plex. Like you basically can buy Plex.
Why didn't they just use Plex for this instead of
Sorry,
Interbus?
ask. Because like it's to me anyway, and like a few people have like highlighted it, like they were basically planning on using this as like a fucking cryptocurrency, and they I'm pretty sure, like assuming I'm not misinterpreting, like you can like turn this into burst into like Omega, I think, unless the slide was a bit confusing, and they were talking about how you could like donate that to people, and like I'm pretty fucking sure this was meant to be a cryptocurrency. It slots in so perfectly with that whole play to earn bollocks that they wanted to do.
Well, if they've
So-
released it in this form, then surely it's a good sign that they're not actually stupid enough to do it and they got the message.
So do you think the Interbus was part of the cryptocurrency development, and maybe that's where like the devs have been working on for a while and didn't have a whole lot to announce in terms of development, and also maybe that's why like there's an accountant that's in the lead charge of all the development and stuff like that.
I don't think they had 150 devs work on NFTs, but I mean, maybe. I doubt it though. But this does definitely look like what's left over of a crypto NFT play to earn thing, which play to earn is totally cool, right? Like there are games like Halo Infinite where you get kills, you earn cosmetics, you can change the way your Spartan looks. Like
I'm not sure that's play to earn though. Play to earn. I'm pretty sure in
That
CCP's
is
Fucking
definition
COD
is like
camo NFT.
Diablo 3 had the auction house that was play to earn.
right. Well, but the thing is though is that there's pay to earn and there's play to earn, right? So this would be play to earn in the sense that you can't pay to get
Shut
it.
up, Breadline.
I'm just saying it is because this is not an NFT. This is cosmetic
Yeah.
upgrades that you get for completing challenges. Does it
This
look
is
like an
this is
NFT?
definitely play to earn. Absolutely 100% play to earn. About the infographic as well, it's you've got to be Omega before you can earn it. It's not that you can buy Omega with it.
I like there was a slide I saw where it was talking about how you could donate Omega to like people, and it was like this like cycle. I'll find it. Hang on.
Yeah. A lot of the slides that they used were shocking in terms of like just basically getting information out there, but I think that just
Yeah.
is all a FanFest anyway.
Also, it's worth pointing out that Interbus is thought to be a cryptocurrency, not an NFT. Like an NFT is completely different than a crypto, from my understanding, at least.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
this
my
was the
understanding.
baseline, wasn't it? This was what they were going to basically launch everything off. This was the first point of their crypto bullshit that they've clearly given up on, or have they?
I don't know. I'm looking at an article by Pearl Abyss where they're talking about it, and they mentioned that Black Desert is stopping their pursuit or exploration into the cryptocurrency markets, but it doesn't mention that Eve stopped it.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful with a lot of that shit though, because they inadvertently use crypto and NFTs together and use them interchangeably as well, which is really really fucking annoying.
Redline, I put a couple of pictures. Are you able to bring them up? They're in the public stage channel.
Yeah, for sure. I will bring up the little recycle thing first.
The recycle thing. Oh yeah. That's
Which
yeah.
channel?
So, the public stage channel. So maybe I misunderstood this, but it says like earn Interbus credits, recruit, train, and retain new players, which to bus credits because members convert to Omega, and you're like this is like from a core perspective on the right. and like how you're taxing it basically. And then or alliance, I guess, and then the alliance spends Interbus credits on organizational heraldry. And then they've got this bit here that says buy and donate Omega for ISK. And I don't really, I guess it says ISK and not IBC, so.
It'd be the veterans
thing,
doing that.
Yeah, the Omega thing is just that it increases the amount that you can earn. Whereas when you're not Omega, then the amount that you earn is severely reduced.
Isn't it double you get by being Omega? I think it's said. Yeah.
And I think there's only certain things that you can do as well.
Holy shit! I just thought of
Omega.
something. What if they installed in the exe file like a Bitcoin miner or some shit like that? And as you saw your IVC stacking up over time, that was really because they're using your hardware to fucking put the shit together.
I mean, it would explain why my shit lags so much. Holy shit.
If I shared in what they were producing for that, I wouldn't complain a huge amount.
I mean, why wouldn't you just mine yourself? Like, hello?
So, by the way, just so that we're all on the same page, this graphic here that we're looking at, if you look at the subheading under earning Interbus credits, this is the increased Omega subscription value, by the way. So the extra $5, here you go.
I have a new
Interbus
picture for you.
credits. Yes, so this picture is a fun one. We like this picture.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do, because we were complaining that they were poofing ships into existence with the Retriever pack. At least with this, we supply the ships and the modules and shit. We get our Interbus credits, and then CCP gets to sell the ships that we provide for money.
The really dumb fucking gun.
The biggest question here is if players don't provide enough, is CCP gonna stop selling their shit?
Oh, absolutely not. There's literally no oversight on this. Like, we'll never know if they're doing it right or not.
Has CCP actually said they're going to continue selling chips?
Well, someone said today that they had a screenshot for a fucking $20 mining pack. I don't know if that was wrong or not, but
it was bait.
Was it bait?
It was bait.
Good.
I was gonna say I lost everything for that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, this is
what.
So
I thought that was real.
No, that
there was definitely a pack you buy for like fucking $8 or some shit like that, where it gives you a free procure or whatever.
Yeah, it was the Retriever pack.
They removed that. Yeah, they removed that because of the outrage.
We fought them into the ground and they got rid of it.
So it's coming back.
It is coming back, and it'll come from players. So essentially,
I mean, we have no proof that it's going to come back.
We do. We have a lot of proof that it's going to come back, because in the post that Swift made updating everything after the whole media blackout and after Retriever pack, he said that this is the kind of thing that they were going to look at to make it so that when they're selling these packs, the ships come from the players. And once they figure out a way to do it, they're going to re-implement the packs. So basically what they're doing is they're picking at the problems that we have with the whole thing in general, and they're fixing little bits and little bits to see how mad we get.
I don't understand why they don't just sell IBC for real money.
I got a better one. Why don't they just spoiler alert, Plex? Oh my god, it's already essentially a fucking crypto. Like if they are so hardcore about a goddamn crypto scheme, then why don't they just make it exportable to a fucking trading place or trading?
In fairness, making Plex able to do that, like be tradable for these kinds of things, these heraldry things, does kind of set that precedence where you can use real money to get these things rather than actually playing the game. I don't know about
the community has said, like, hey, we'd be happy to pay real money for Alliance skins. Like,
yeah, that as well. Like, this should have been a thing about 4 or 5 years ago, right? When they first started doing skins. That would have been a second thing they should have developed. Like, that's what pisses me off about them, is that if they want to make money, they can make fucking money if they're just smart about it. Like, just be fucking common sense intelligent and say, oh, you know what? I bet fucking Northern Coalition and Goons and fucking Test want their, well, not Test, ripped.
I
I'm
was gonna
sorry,
say not test, dude.
but
Yikes.
like they want the
We
they
just
want their
tested.
skins.
Right, and they want their skins, so what they'll do is they'll have their members contribute their little Interbus credits to the corporation, which is in that first graphic.
Interbusty.
Which is in this first graphic, right? That's exactly what the plan is to bring those Interbus credits to the corps, to the alliances, etc.
Interbusty.
And the thing is that instead of just being able to swipe a credit card, so instead of being
You
able
can
to
still
use
swipe a
my
credit card.
activities in the real world to pay for Interbus credits, I have to actually play EVE Online to get Interbus credits. I have to
You can
actually play
still
EVE Online to earn the cosmetic
no,
upgrades. What do you mean? How am I going
no,
to buy them? If you can't buy
because
them
you
for
just buy
anything,
the ships and modules. Look at the picture.
it's
Show the
not the
picture.
modules.
It
Oh, okay. You buy
literally,
the ships and modules and then sell them?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess. If that's what
Yeah,
you want to
like,
do.
well, that's yeah.
That's one of the crutches they're counting on. But to answer the question about why they don't want to give alliances stuff and why they haven't given us the veterans the things that we've wanted, you need to look at the entire FanFest as a whole and CCP's actions over the last 2 years. And what have they done? They've literally shit all over veteran players in terms of what we do, the content we have, and in FanFest as well, in front of a bunch of people, majority of whom are veterans who are the most loyal payer base of this community's ever had. They've basically stuck two fingers up to them and said, look at what we've done. All we've done is shit for new players. They're basically telling us, fuck you, old players. We're focusing on the new ones.
They did say, to be fair, that some of the like faction warfare changes could make it to Null-sec.
Yeah, but that's basically us getting crumbs for something that's focused on new players.
And I also have to throw it out there. Like, let's be real. Everything that was announced at FanFest was very extremely vague with no timeline and essentially like a fucking shower thought at the point.
That was my biggest disappointment. There was no timeline.
So I did put that graphic on the screen. That is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, weren't most of the people there like actually not veterans?
The majority were veterans. If you think more than 4 years, they class non-veterans as basically 4 years and below, and above that I'm counting as veterans because that's the metric they're using. The majority of the players now by their metric are new players that have started less than 4 years ago, and that's what they're counting on. They're the ones that they're focusing on. And from CCP's perspective, don't want to play devil's advocate here, but you can understand it as well. How do you balance a game where someone's been playing 19 years, accumulating wealth, with someone who started yesterday or last week? You just can't.
Abyssal Titans.
The new player experience has been developed at the same time or simultaneously as a lot of the other stuff that's been released to the game. So I don't know. Like, wasn't the last new player experience iteration released around the same time that they came out with the big Triglavian expansion?
They've been doing new player experiences on and off basically for the last 8-9 years. It's just something they've always fiddled with. But the last 2 years exclusively has been new player experience and tooling. Literally tooling on top of tooling on top of tooling. And the problem with CCP is that they over tool to the point that it's just ridiculous. They'll make a tool, get stuck halfway through, make a tool to fix that tool, and oh no, the tool that's meant to fix the tool isn't working anymore, so they'll make another 2 tools to fix the tool that's meant to fix the original tool. It's just CCP production all over.
And then they finally arrive at what they should have arrived at when this game was first created, is that Microsoft Excel is a good alternative.
Yep.
That
and
I
you need to
can't
remember
believe.
as well, on top of that, like new players. So I don't know how long you guys have been playing. I've been playing since 2003. I've got the amount of alts that I want. I've got them trained up to where I want them to be. I'm not going to be plexing them. Other than I'm not going to be buying skill injectors, rather. They're already trained up. But if I'm a new player, I'm starting next week. Think of the potential money they could earn from me if they retain me. Because the thing is, you're not going to play the game, or the majority of the players at least aren't going to play the game with one single account. They're going to fall into the same thing that we did, thinking, oh, if I get more accounts, I'm going to make more money, and making more money more efficiently needs more accounts. And that's what they're looking at. They've got our money. We've already trained up. We're not going to buy more off them, more than a new player at least. And they've done that and basically said, yep, fuck you veterans.
I got 2 points to that. One, first of all, my first point is those stats that are on the screen right now, 57% of e-players joined after last. Now, is that like accounts that were dormant and then came back active? Are those alts that were created? Are those like what?
So yeah, I really tried to get deep into this, and I've spoken to a couple of devs. I've tried to speak to some of the community team as well, who basically say, sorry, I've got to go speak to someone else. They don't know if this also includes new accounts created by veteran players, but CCP has a tool in-house that basically bunches all of your accounts together, so they are able to differentiate between a completely new account and an account that's been created recently by a veteran player. Yeah, I mean, you can see that they use this with the end of year stuff, where they bunch all of your accounts up and tell you the overall amount of ISK that you've made, and so on and so forth.
I guess I wish they would be more transparent about how they arrive, because a statistic is just a statistic, whatever, until you have like the backing or the explanation behind it. So I'm just curious about that number, 57%. It seems like a lot.
Yeah,
it does seem like a lot.
If it's true, it's scary. If it's true, it's fucking scary.
But that's the thing, though, is that the news completely right, that the game is being developed from the new player forward. So like we have our new player experience, we have our new like air introductions coming soon to a galaxy near you. We're gonna have story arcs. So one of the big things that everybody recommends new players do, go run the Sisters of Eve epic arc. And now there's just gonna be constant ones going on all of the time that are gonna pull these new players into low-sec. And then, maybe then they'll encroach on our territory just enough so that we feel like going and fighting them.
No, they'll be murdered by snuffed out before that happens.
No, they need to have it to where they can work on both the new player experience and the veteran player game account at the same time. Like it should be because first of all, you don't get new players without any kind of marketing. Fortunately, Eve is a goods and service in which the entire marketing is created by the people who are involved with said goods and service. So they don't even have to really advertise that much. All the new players see these big headlines. Oh my God, there's 6,000 people fighting against another 6,000 people. Like, and then they join up, and then that's when the new player experience takes over, right? So it's kind of like an ecosystem that they have to maintain, and they're not maintaining the stability very well.
So for me, the biggest issue I had with FanFest was, I guess it's like a couple of things, but so they bumped the price up beforehand and obviously came out and like, this is going to be the biggest content update we've ever done. And then so I went into FanFest expecting some reason for me to value this game at $20 a month per run account, right? And I didn't get that, or at least I didn't get that now, right? Like they've bumped up the price and said, hey, we're going to do some of these things, but they're not delivering them anytime soon. And then they also came out and said like, hey, we're looking into this alt account thing and giving people discounts based on how many accounts they sub, but had nothing to deliver on that. And I appreciate the fact that they came out and like, hey, yeah, we know this on it, but lol, we don't have anything. Like if they'd done that before they increased the fucking prices, like I think that would have been good.
Or before they increased prices, they could have been like, hey guys, we lost like 20% of our player base right now. We have to hike prices. That probably would have been cool too.
Well, that is what they said though. They listed it
after the fact.
Russia as a reason, yeah, after the fact. I also found another interesting picture. I think so. Nope, not that one. Not that one. So this is an actual cool thing that we heard about at FanFest. We want to talk about some positive stuff.
One of like a few ones.
Yeah, there were a few cool things, right?
I like the removal of character attributes. Like they're just kind of a bit weird. rebalancing of all skills. I really hope they're gonna change the Magic 14. Like, I feel like the Magic 14 is this like massive kind of just like gate in front of like new bros, and like just give the new bros the Magic 14. Or
Yeah, just start all characters with them at 5. Literally, it's the easiest fucking fix.
yeah, I think that would be massive.
So
You just have to.
I do
You
just
have
want
to
to
look at.
address something real quick. Sorry. So Q Ryan in the chat is going off about the new player and how we are equally as responsible as CCP in bringing that new player into the fold. What do you guys think about that?
Wait, hang on. Okay, let me read this. So you always go, what is CCP doing to retain new players? So what's your excuse? What are you all doing to help gain and retain new players? It's not just CCP. You're equation. This sounds like you're looking for a job, and the job. Okay, like, buddy, we pay to play this game. CCP make money from that. Like, they have some fucking responsibilities.
Eve is enough of a second job as it is without me becoming a fucking nanny. Like, there's enough new players that come into the game that get absolutely dicked down in their first week, and they continue to play. Eve is a niche game. This is something CCP really need to get in their heads. Eve is a niche game. It's not World of Warcraft. It's not Final Fantasy. Hilmar wants it to be and treats it as such, but it's not. And they need to pander to that niche. Like, I don't understand what they're doing trying to be this AAA bloody MMO fucking the next Blizzard or Square or whatever. Like, play to your strengths. And one of the biggest strengths of Eve is the fact that it's a massively niched game.
I think he probably sells like plant fucking nutrient substitutes and some sort of pyramid scheme out of his garage or some shit. Because that's what he's explaining is that we're supposed to just, you know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I'll be
you're
honest,
recruit these
like,
players.
Someone has just said too much ADHD in this generation to comprehend Eve Online. Like
That's not true. Not
yeah,
true at all.
like I'm a fucking Zoomer, and I only started playing a year ago, and like actually, like I really enjoy this game most of the time. Like,
if
I
I
don't know
can
what
just
you're on about.
if I can just jump in and answer him a bit more
Sure.
seriously though, there's huge player corporations that are specifically created and run just for new players. The amount of effort that goes into these corporations by players who pay to play this game is absolutely fucking mind-boggling. Some put more effort into it than their real life jobs, okay? So if you're going to start bitching at us about us not doing our part to keep players in the game, we do. We really fucking do. Even with the terrible tools that CCP give to us, and the fact that we make tools outside of the game to help players as well is just insane. And it shows the level that we'll actually go to try and help CCP make this game better. But the problem is CCP fights us every fucking step of the way.
I have a question for this guy. Do you happen to like a majority of your time is spent in high sec, and do you happen to main the Orca? That is my question for you, Kia Ryan.
Do you love Walker?
Yeah.
Well, even if he does, so we're saying this is not our responsibility, right? So how does CCP make it better? And I mean, with the slide that's on the screen here, it's this is definitely a way to do it, to simplify the entire process. I mean, they brought up the skill plans a while back, which kind of helped a little bit. You know, this deep dive into the brain might be pretty cool. This seems like something that like the removal of character attributes, probably switch of a button, right?
So is this going to be like the summer expansion?
Yeah, Q3. I think the biggest problem facing retention and new players at the moment and people that are completely new to Eve is the fact that you've got this new player experience with all its glitz, its glam. It looks fucking amazing. You've got like this narrated area as well, which, you know, brilliant, awesome. They get through that, they leave, they go into Eve, and it's fuck all like the new player experience. Absolutely nothing like it. The new player experience doesn't really tell them much either. And then you've got to go into that stupid fucking nonsense that tries to guide you towards missions or mining, and it's just shit, like all around shit. CCP really should have focused on that as well, and done all of this at once. I mean, they've had 2 years, and it looks like they've done the absolute minimum of what they could have done in those 2 years.
Yeah, they have a problem of starting on a lot of stuff and then like kind of fizzling out over time.
And that is kind of what scares me about everything that I see that was announced at FanFest, is that the only thing that I know for sure is that soon I'll be paying $5 more a month for Eve.
You know what triggered me? The fact that they showed a fucking answer blacks and didn't do anything about it. They're like, yeah, we see the answer blacks. I just
They said that they were looking at it though, right?
Yeah, they did. I came out of FanFest feeling really like deflated and let down, to be honest, because they're just like, where's the fucking content? Like,
Yeah.
it's when is the content, I guess, is the better question. Like, the faction warfare stuff looks cool. Like, I'm down to give that a go, and like, yeah, that might be some content, but like,
Well, let's circle back around to the crypto discussion real quick again. And there's a heard from a bird. The little hypothetical that's floating around everybody's heads right now is that
everybody's heard about the bird with the bird, with the bird, the bird.
shut up, Gug.
And sorry, did Gerg just have a stroke?
I think so.
So that all this whole Interbus thing was going to be a much bigger thing, and they were announcing at FanFest it was going to be huge, like this whole fucking presentation shit that they've been working on, and then a couple months ago it was like there's a big pushback about the NFT shit or whatever, which isn't even which is a totally different thing, but it's the same thing.
Is it the same thing I've heard as well from internals, that they've literally had to gut a system in order to get it to work to where we want it?
That's what the brightest minds are thinking, that they had to completely dumpster the entire FanFest they had presented and just do something together the last few minutes. At least it looks like a skunk and it smells like a skunk, then it's probably a fucking skunk, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Eve means a lot to a lot of people. Eve has got people through so much shit, especially the last couple of years with all the bullshit that we've been dealing with. And I fucking love this game. Like, I dedicate, like, I've played this game most of my fucking adult life, and it just feels really, really bad to see it. Like, so if you looked at the FanFest out of any context, like, this would have been an okay FanFest. It would have been, it looks okay, yay, skins and shit. But if you add the context in from the last 2 years where CCP has done nothing but gut play styles and fucking Null-sec and, just basically chase their tail, it was fucking terrible. And I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, the last few years have been kind of rough.
It's been awful.
I mean, it's been a sturdy I hate to say it. Ever since the fucking
the war, dude.
No, it was before that. It was the downfall began well before that. It was back when quote unquote bombers people were complaining that they couldn't insta blow up super carriers and shit with 10 bombers, right? And then that was the first domino, and then it just fucking picked up steam, and now it's a massive snowball rolling down it's a fucking avalanche, actually. It's about to bury this entire game.
And CCP, they must be fucking thanking whoever they prayed to that there was a war, like when all of this shit was going on, because that was the only thing keeping people in Null-sec logging in. I just can't believe how that we shit on them, we say they're crap and all the rest of it, but they must be praying to their fucking lucky star that a Null-sec war happened during that period.
Yeah, like I think 2021, I think CCP made something around $56.5 million. Like what did you do with all that fucking money? Like I feel like there's a little extra in there. Yeah, but I'm gonna math this real quick.
The FPS, they've got to pay for it, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean they have to.
I mean,
But
look at CCP's like fucking track record on investments. You know, the whole VR shit where they literally went out and said, "Give us money, we'll invest it, and we'll give it back to you." And it took them what 4 years to make back the loss that they fucking put into it. Like, I mean,
I'm
it all comes
really
down.
like not looking forward to the fact that like people are finding these fucking surveys for like mobile games and forexes and shit like
dude,
that. Like,
come on.
Oh yeah, their 4X game, yeah, the mobile one.
and like the FPS they're working on as well. Like, I don't understand why they can't just like I'm stealing this straight from Reddit, but like, I would be perfectly happy if they sub-licensed out the IP and had another studio work on it while they just focused on like
Yep.
the actual game.
The thing that's making them the fucking money, rather than treating it like a piece of shit. Coming back to what we were discussing earlier on, and I owe this to another person, but the best way it was explained to me is that um, if you think of old players and new players, you think of veterans as the heart and the new players as the blood that fucking heart pumps. Like you need a like an actual level for these players to come in at, an infrastructure in place for them to join in order for them to get into the game in a good way. Like back in 2003, we didn't have that, and it was fucking difficult. But at the moment, you've got veterans that can welcome these new players in and keep them hooked because it's actual interaction with other people that keeps people in this game. That's why I'm still here, and that's demonstrably true. But yet CCP isn't doing that. They've basically gone full balls to the wall about new players and stuck their fingers up to veterans, even though their community team will say that's not happening. They can say it as much as they want, but the actions that they've portrayed over the last 2 years, it speaks fucking volumes. And CCP really need to change tack very quick and do something for their veterans because we're not going to stay around dealing with this shit for a long time.
Can I try and offer a slightly different hi, by the way, guys, a slightly
Hello.
different viewpoint?
Oh, hello, friend.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
let's hear it, buddy.
Hello, Swads.
Hey, so I got off of FanFest. I was there as well, and I didn't realise you were there, Mavell, or else I would have looked you up. But
I didn't go. I
okay.
just watched the streams.
So I've been trying to chat with people, some in the game industry, some in the software industry, and I've been trying to like look at this a little more positively. I've got to admit it's been a little bit of a struggle, but one thing that did occur to me after some of the chats I've had is there's awful lot of people that always cite, I don't know, 2012 to 2016 or whatever as a golden time. And it made me think, is it the golden time because of the game mechanics? Or maybe it was the golden time because we didn't have the tooling and the ESI quite as worked out as we did. We didn't have these mega coalitions. I mean, the fact we've essentially got 3 coalitions and any small alliance gets instantly squashed reduces an awful lot of people's options for play as well. I know you've been playing for an awfully long time, and we used to be able to set up an alliance and go and do some stuff, and we didn't really have to deal with the worry of being dunked on from far away and very quickly. And I
Couldn't
just
PL deploy their entire super fleet to like anywhere in the game back then?
yeah,
They could in like half an hour, yeah.
they could, but they also weren't huge. And
Yeah.
yes, I also think that they were a little bit of an exception. I mean, if you caught their eye, then yeah, you'd get dunked. But I would. I mean, I don't know how to do this. I'm not a game developer, but I honestly
If I
think
can just
that
add something to what you
yeah,
just said
please.
though about PL, it like back then as well, things cost, but they didn't like you didn't have the infrastructure then that you do now. That if it gets wiped out now, it's a big cost. Back then, wasn't really so much, and you could replace it quite effectively as well. So that it was like different times.
So I'd argue that like halving or quartering the amount of information that comes out the ESI would be brilliant. The fact that it takes about 5 minutes for for kind of stats wizards to instantly come up with the best doctrines the second a change goes live, I think removes a lot of the fun exploration in doctrines and gameplay. And I'd also argue that with citadels nowadays, if I don't know, if PL or goons or someone wanted to go and take someone's space because it was better, they could. But there's literally no reason to do that now. Because
We tried to take Delve and failed.
yeah, I was there, but that
We were
wasn't
all there,
for
sir.
but that wasn't for better resources, right? And we did it knowing that we'd have to tear up a trillion isks worth of rigs and all that kind of stuff. So there's no incentive to go somewhere for an extra, I don't know, 50 bill or 100 bill a month for your alliance, because it just takes too long to get the money back.
Sounds like you're hinting towards passive moon income.
No, not necessarily, but I mean, even if you could pull the rigs up on your structures, that then means you can take stuff down and go and move, and you actually get benefit from moving. You don't automatically lose this huge amount of money. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you want to be able to relocate and be able to shift structures that way. So are you like kind of thinking of like a migratory resource in Null-sec or something that you can pick up and follow as you go along or something?
This is
No.
what they're actually developing now, is that you get resources in Null-sec and you mine them out, or you do whatever it is that they want you to do, and then they change, they adjust, they turn into something else for a certain period of time. I think it was CCP Dragon was talking to Astrofty about it.
So one thing I will say is like, obviously you were there, so I think you're gonna have a different outlook maybe on the event, and like you you probably interacted with some devs and stuff, and but from the stream it was obviously not quite that level of interaction. Like, it's obviously very easy to be incredibly negative when you're in a watch party with like a bunch of people with like relatively high expectations, and you don't get any of it, right? Like, it becomes very negative first. So I'm sure the atmosphere was a little different there. So
Well,
yeah, I'm interested in like your input, I guess.
So a funny story about sitting there being negative. They had an audience reaction mic next to me, and they had to move it about 10 minutes into the into the keynote, because I just sat there going, "This is a load of fucking bollocks, isn't it?"
Well, I would like to
funny.
say I would like to say one thing though. Okay, one thing is that they didn't announce anything that would negatively impact us, right? Like, I guess.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
No,
Redline?
no, because if they're saying that the value for the increased sub price is the heraldry stuff, I mean, that does kind of negatively impact me a little bit, personally.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think that's out like, I don't think that's because of the event though. Like, like,
just been asked to clarify something as well. Can I just say that even though I'm literally shitting on CCP at the moment, I genuinely think that they're doing it because they believe that it's going to help the game. I genuinely believe that that's what they believe. And I don't think anyone works at CCP just to make Eve worse. I don't think anyone works there for that. So I just want to clarify that.
I also want to clarify 1 sec, just a big clarification. We are not amber herding on CCP. It is metaphorically, not literally shitting. Metaphorically.
You're actually cringe, Redline.
It was
Don't
a good
kink
joke.
shame, please.
It
Don't
was a
kink
good
shame.
joke. Good joke.
I set that up.
It was fine. It was a fine joke. Thanks. Anyway, somebody is saying that yes, all of the changes discussed at FanFest were good. So we like what we're seeing. We just need to see it, like, in the video game, I think.
And as we know from the historical FanFests, just because we've seen it at FanFest, does not mean it's going to hit the game.
That's the problem, isn't it? Is that lack of trust at the moment.
Yeah.
And we don't have
Yeah.
any. We don't have any with CCP.
Especially with such little detail, really. Like these are obviously shower thoughts or thought up in the last few minutes or so.
You think
At
so?
least that's how it kind of. I mean, calling a spade. That's how it came across.
The
I mean, I
fact that one of the slides had like, was it 2017 or 2019 on it as well? Like,
17, yeah.
yeah, like
And-
I went into this like really fucking hoping. Like, I've only been playing a year, right? So like I don't have this like massive like, no, I'm not gonna. It's not hate boner, but like this massive mistrust of CCP yet. But like it's fucking
Oh,
growing.
look
like
at that, though.
And the depressing part about it is like, let's assume that the tinfoil hypothesis is correct, that they thought of these announcements last like 2 weeks before FanFest. The depressing part is that they didn't come up with anything better than that, just off of talking notes.
So I unsubbed some alts after the thing, and like I was very honest in the survey, and I put a few points. I can't remember them all, but one of the points I put was that there's this like the fucking gate rats. So when they got rid of belts, they put the rats from belts on gates instead, right? And this is really fucking oppressive when you're roaming, because if you're holding on a gate, for example, you just get fucking yeeted by like a haven's worth of rats on a gate, and so like you have to kill the rats and then like hold on the gate, and if you can't tank the gate rats, so you're fucked, right? Like if CCP had announced, hey, yeah, next week we're like pushing a patch to fix gate rats, holy shit, that would have been sick. Like I would have been happy. It would have been something positive, but instead it's like, oh yeah, like we're getting a few things.
And it's not
Don't
like
know
it takes
when.
much to do that. It literally doesn't take much for them to fix that. And like before going into FanFest, I was speaking on Init Discord, and I was like, I wonder if they push that big red button. And the big red button to me is the easy wins, like angel caps. Like they've already got the models for them. They're already designed. They're there, but they still didn't push that button. So I don't know if it's hubris or if it's incompetence that's making this the way it is. I just, I mean, we all know Hilmar's history, and we all know that he's prone to having these outbursts and telling people that they haven't got balls, and then increasing the price of a monocle by 10, like a factor of 10. But it just, I don't understand the process behind a lot of this shit. And I speak to people in CCP, and even they can't explain it.
Sorry, I
said,
just need to say
like I
gates
said,
rats. Carry on.
Yeah, we heard what you said.
Like-
Gay rats, we get it. It's fine.
But
Carrying
don't
on.
say that.
I want to reiterate what I said earlier. Now is that there's a high probability that these are all shower thoughts put together 2 weeks before the FanFest presentation, and that was the best they could creatively come up with on the spot.
I don't think the faction warfare stuff was. By all accounts, Aurora seems to be shit hot.
Yeah, I think the faction warfare stuff was like planned.
The other thing, and this is going back to the old guys that knew POS warfare. That faction warfare stuff where you've got kind of upfront system. I can't remember the names, but you've got the frontline systems and the command systems and all that kind of stuff. It felt a little bit, and again, this is something that someone pointed out to me. It felt a little bit like the old POS warfare in Null-sec, a good, like 50 or 12 years ago or so, where you had these invulnerable systems. And I thought that was quite interesting, because they did hint that they're going to potentially, if it works, move some of this into Null-sec.
Yeah, so the whole POS code thing, right? Obviously, like there's like CCP have said they want to get rid of POSes, I think, right? But as a player base, like we still use POSes for offensive warfare, right? So this new like forward staging thing would be a good replacement for POSes, hopefully.
Do you like gay rats, Redline?
Oh god.
I really do not like at all. Honestly, they're just all they do is they show up. They're really loud, really annoying, and pretty violent sometimes.
Yep.
And they just make a mess, and then I have to clean it up.
And they shit in your bed.
Yeah.
Cringe.
What's cringe about that, dude? You're the one who said it.
What the fuck are y'all talking about? I step away for a second. You know?
Gay rats.
It's fine. Don't worry about it, okay? It's for a different day.
With their flags and everything.
So I really do want to make sure that everybody knows officially that I am very excited about the things that are maybe possibly coming to EVE Online in the near, not so near, or distant future.
Stop sucking up the CCP, Redline.
I just need to, there's some things I gotta do. I'm hoping that this kind of stuff will make it actually, like, I don't know. I said earlier that I wanted to help make EVE playable, I guess is the word that I used.
You don't even play the game.
I do play the game,
You don't
but
play
I
the
play
game.
it. I play it so infrequently that it doesn't even matter.
So you
But-
don't play the game then?
No, I do. I play like events and stuff. I was doing some abyssals the other day.
Oh
Yesterday,
yeah, how did
actually.
that go for you?
It went
Oh, it
fine.
was
I was
great.
doing
Great.
fierce tier 3s, bro, in my Gila.
I like the changes, but I don't know how they're going to affect me in any way, shape, or form as a Null-sec player.
Well, none of us do, because they didn't really give us any information on them. They just said
They're
these
not-
are possibly the changes coming in, and we're
they're-
not going to give you any details.
They're not changes, they're ideas. They're like, it's like that episode of South Park where the dolphins are diving in and pick up a ball and kick it out. And it's like the next joke that they use in The Simpsons or whatever.
It was an aspirational fan fest. Everything was to be aspired to. Nothing was concrete.
With with emphasis on the ass, right?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, gay rats to us, it links.
You know, it would have
Come
been
on
cool
now.
if they announced a deployable. You could deploy and it shot like fireworks, maybe like different color, red, green, blue, purple, pink, all that kind of stuff. And then the gay rats came and helped you
Planted
against
them,
whatever
yeah.
your foe. Yeah.
It'd be amazing. Now that's content.
I think if they'd just announced angel caps, everyone would have gone, "This is so minor, but we don't care," and everyone would
Yeah.
have walked away
Well, they'd
smiling.
be all over
As
it.
someone said earlier,
Yeah, we're just asking for a breath, like just a little eye twitch, but no, it's still comatose.
Oh, can I just say as well, guys, sorry for talking so much, but vote Briscrewball and Pando for CSM.
And who else?
Cringe.
Pando.
And who else?
Scrapyard
And
attendant, not Redline. Thank you.
And who else?
Kale.
Is there someone else from Init that's going to go for CSM?
Excuse me. You're supposed to say me.
I
Come
mean,
on. Vote for
are
me
you
too.
trying
right?
to get back into CCP's good books, though, Redline?
No, I'm not actually. As it turns
Will
out.
this just be another squishy scenario?
What do you mean? Where I
Where
won't get approved?
You've been so nasty to them that they'll tell you.
I
fuck
haven't
off.
been. I haven't been that nasty, but probably yeah. That's what I'm expecting. I hope not, because I really do
Yeah.
think I could do some good, but whatever. Anyways, so we did get some good stuff. The Siege Green patch showed up. That's finally here. We get to play with that. You guys gonna be dropping dreads anytime soon?
It feels fucking amazing to take a Roitaru shields out in literally minutes. Oh my god, today okay. Forts still a piece of shit, but Roitarus and that. Oh fuck, chef's kiss, literally brilliant.
Does it not feel though like just a way for the big alliances, the big three, to clear small alliances assets even quicker, which
Yep.
concerns me slightly.
That's what it
Literally
sounds
what's
like to me.
happening to me.
Like, I mean, I can only imagine what the Leshak prices are right now.
Oh, it's the Zenitras we're looking at.
Didn't the Zenitra drop like 10 billion cost or something insane?
Yep.
Yeah, something stupid.
I'm glad I fucking sold mine. Didn't sell the Komodo though. RIP like a few hundred bill.
I can't
that
wait.
Thing dropped a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up one morning, frat have refed about 35 Athanors. I have to buy a crate of Monster and spend the next 3 days defending them.
Rip.
That's the concern, isn't it?
Is that
Fuck
something
frat.
you're dealing with now? Like they've already done that?
There's a group being paid by them doing that, yeah.
Oh, nice.
You should
I don't
talk
care
a bit about
wormhole.
that. Not the wormhole, the fraternity conflict.
I didn't know there was still conflict with the fraternity. I thought everybody kind of left them alone. Sounds like they're not leaving everybody else alone.
Right, so Norhouse needs to pay his house mortgage, right, and needs more stuff.
AFK a second.
His BRMs, they're getting preloaded. So, well, in all seriousness, I think some group in Frat had a dispute with the Russians over Mordus NPC space control. And Bandalogs kept killing their burners or some shit, and they kept getting really, really mad. So they used the Chinese holiday, right, to destroy Banda's staging Fortizar in 5ZX. That's literally how pathetic it is. And
I don't
now,
understand.
neither do I. And now, Norhouse is paying some group, allegedly, 100 bill a week to completely and utterly harass all of Volta's Sov. So, I watched earlier, there was 15 iHubs being toasted at the same time. Like all of Cloud Ring and some of Fade or something. Constant jump bridge timers, it's ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude.
It felt inevitable though that they were going to go west.
I mean, yeah, it's, you know, he's a leader that says one thing and then acts the other way. It is what it is. EU time zone frat can't really do fuck all, but if there was ever a Chinese holiday, I'm fucked.
I mean, that's kind of a silly thing to take issue with. Them being on holiday and attacking shit, and they have all their dudes.
No, I don't have issues with that. I mean, they needed 900 people for a 70-man alliance. I mean, it's kind of a bad look.
They got the job done there, didn't it?
Well, yeah,
And
obviously.
I nearly fed a super though. Holy shit, that was close. A fraternity super warped to the Vandalog's Fortizar, and he jumped out as soon as he landed, but it was yeah, a little spicy. Oh, we're talking about Gladiators of Rage in the chat, Pog.
Is that what we're doing?
Oh,
Apparently.
can we just not virtue signal over the words of some absolute moron? Like, it's just boring. You're all as
Which
bad as
one?
each other.
I don't support hate speech.
Every group has those people in their alliance.
I support hate speech.
just-
It just depends on who it's pointed at.
It's just stupid to discuss. It will be swings and fucking roundabouts, and you'll never come to a close. It's just pointless.
Well, that's kind of how conversations work. So,
If you guys want to talk about it, sure. I'm not bothered, but put my own opinion across, you know.
well, I just don't know what else there is to talk about.
It's disappointing that everyone from Hero Coalition has left.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie, kind of suspicious, but okay. It's all right. No, accountability is hard. But really, what else is there to talk about?
How is the Southern
thing
War?
kicking off down south?
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going fun.
Yeah. I have
Who's
a
gonna win?
question for Suaz while he's here. Was there anything you saw that wasn't live streamed that particularly took your like caught your attention?
Yeah, I had a brainwave and rewrote Little Bees to Mr. V is typing. Mr. V.
Oh God. That's
Are
not
you-
what I meant, but that does sound pretty good.
Can we get a rendition?
Not right now. Not on push to talk for sure.
This is not push. Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I can take it off. We
No,
can get
honestly,
if we can get a sneak
it's-
peeker. We can get a sneaker peeker.
fucking hell, hang on, give me a minute.
It's the rule of 3, team. Now we get a sneak peek.
Have you seen? Have
What'd you say?
you seen the new rat?
I have seen the new rat, the gay one.
Yeah, the LGBTQI
Yep, I saw it.
rat.
LMNOP.
Yeah, so no, the conversation about that corporation and them joining Hero Coalition, I think there may have been a misunderstanding. We
I
thought
said they
that
didn't join Hurricane.
we thought that the leadership of that group only, did like real life threats and shit like that. We didn't know they also supported this. So sometimes we have said nice things about Hero Coalition, not very often. But I would like to take this moment to take them all back on behalf of everyone who's ever said them.
Yeah, fuck Hurricane.
Okay, Severance member.
Hey, I
Yeah,
just came back. What
yikes.
happened? What's going on?
We were chatting mad shit about Hurricane.
Yeah, we're churning butter, and we are running out of gas, honestly.
Well,
There's
tell me
not much
more
more to
about the
talk
South,
about.
dude.
I found my guitar, but you guys chat first. That's fine.
No. This is way more important than what we were about to say.
Yeah, I'm sure we can shut up.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. Push to talk. So it was only just from now on. If I ever perform this, this is how the last chorus is going to go. Mr. V, Mr. V, Mr. V, Mr. V, Mr. V is typing. Mr. V. There we go. Just a little.
That is beautiful.
If I
Mr.
didn't have to push the button to actually talk, I'd be clapping right now.
You don't have to push the button to talk anymore.
But now I do. I did hold the light up on my phone though and waved it back and forth a little bit.
I've
So-
swapped back to push to talk now.
So for anybody who doesn't know, that is the newest rendition of Little Bees. I'm very excited for
Oh
it.
shit, Father Delve is in the chat. That is very interesting.
Why did
Right,
Father
so-
Delve get banned? What happened?
Yeah, Father Delve
Papa.
got blacklisted from Goons, even though he's literally called Father Delve. He got promoted to leadership within his corp, and then he yoinked a bunch of shit from his corp. Like, a bunch of shit. I honestly, like, based on like the shit he would say in local and his fucking name being Father Delve, I kind of thought he was like a try hard like goon apologist, but no, like he fucking
It's the
yoinked a
long
bunch of
con, dude.
shit. Yeah.
It's the long con, man.
Are you gonna tell us what you stole, Father Delve?
Yeah, was it worth it?
You sound like Kermit, Mav. Thanks, Father Delve.
Oh, that's rude.
I mean, you did just get very, very excited, Mav.
It is exciting.
You know, it's really exciting. CSM campaigns.
Cringe.
Your friend's scrapyards run. Not exciting to you?
I told him I wouldn't vote for him.
You're gonna vote for me?
No.
What if I can help
I'm
get rid of
waiting.
the gay rats?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what like candidates come out. I'm hoping there'll be like.
He's waiting for his
lots
Discord
of-
ping. Tell him who to vote
God,
for.
I've literally never voted.
He doesn't have a
for the-
brain.
Fuck off! I'm not a goon.
What does it feel like to be beat by somebody with no brains then?
Kill myself.
Is this Pappy again? Are we talking about the war?
No. I was just responding to this. It was a curiosity, I guess I was asking.
I mean, goons did have the brains of Init to control them, so it's questionable whether they had brains or not.
Okay, so Father Delv is refusing to tell us what he stole. My understanding is he stole a few faction fortizars, some regular forts, I believe, some like Asbels and like mining shit. The most interesting thing I think he stole was the faction fortizars. I believe it was like 4 or 5 of them.
Wow.
So what's your CSM platform, Redline? What are you going to be going on?
God, I'm bored of staring at his character's like specifically posed face to be as obnoxious looking as possible. Man.
Yeah,
not-
that
I
is
want to hear all
actually
about.
like
I
a
want to hear all
really
about how the
punchable
guy
face.
that doesn't log in plans to change New Eden, dude. Let's fucking go.
You'll hear all about it if
Don't you
if I'm
fucking
approved.
dodge me. Come on.
Dodged.
Give me some ideas. Give me some of your plans.
I mean, you just got like a song sang to you, like if he gave us a little snippet, so why didn't you give us some?
All right.
Yeah,
So
red
you
line.
wanna hear some of my ideas and some of my plans? Well, guess what, dude?
How,
I don't fucking have any. You know why? Because I know that my ideas don't matter for shit when it comes to CCP. So
That's not
instead
very
of
positive
me trying
attitude,
to
is it?
reinvent the wheel, why don't I just help make sure that whatever bullshit they're going to implement isn't going to fuck us in the long run?
That's clearly never worked with any CCP, any CSM in the past. So why do you think you're going to be able to do it
So
any different to other candidates?
we can work on that campaign slogan going forward. Okay, it needs a little bit of editing, I think, but I don't know if a "fuck it" LOL is going to work well among the voting masses. So let's.
It's not fuck it
drawing
LOL.
board.
No, there are actual ideas, and Kia Ryan is right. Maybe when I'm less not sober, I can go into them. I am gonna have like a very detailed spot where all of them go. So feel free to check that out later.
Cringe.
Once the application is approved.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't effort anything until that gets.
Yeah, they might not let you in.
I don't think we're making it through, Redline, mate. I'm going to be honest.
Why not? I mean, you actually maybe not. I'm innocent, still proven guilty. 100%.
And unless you look at Eve historically on Twitch.
Hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What did you do, Redline?
Nothing.
He's a
Don't worry
brand
about
risk.
it.
Yeah, he
I
is a
am
brand risk.
not a brand.
You are. You literally made CCP's Twitch channel stream. This is like a bad game for like a day.
Just for like 3 days.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
That's the very definition of brand risk.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It was quite bad,
It
Redline.
wasn't that bad.
It was quite bad.
it was for the people.
Yeah, it was for the
It was-
people. We deserve
It was for the people though. Like it wasn't for the corp, so I don't know if they're gonna.
Marvel CSM make the dream come true. No, that would involve me getting out of bed.
Also, I want to show you the newest sticker in the Discord, by the way.
Right. If it's a picture of your character's face, I'm actually going to leave the server. I'm done. See you later.
Me too. It is. It actually is. Fuck off, Redline.
Well,
Did he leave the server?
no, he
Yep.
didn't.
Wait, why the fuck is Between Two Keepstars on at the same time as this?
I don't know, actually.
Yikes, what the fuck?
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Scrapyard's blocking you.
What is between two keep stars?
It's this dog shit show that is dog shit.
It's not dog shit.
It's
Right.
Hero Correlation's like personal show.
It is.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Alright, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I'm actually curious.
I just saw it on like in the cesspool because Redline changed it all.
Yeah, it's starting soon. So, well, anyways, I've just about run out of things to talk about. So, does anybody else have anything they want to talk about, or are we just gonna go raid somebody and call it a night?
Well, just to answer Father Delve, yes, Black Omega is recruiting.
But Also, AMOC is recruiting. I mean,
Oh, Bill. So I'm stood there with Carmen outside Dunk's speech. You know, Dunk did the alliance. You know, like what
Yeah.
I learned speech, right?
yeah, it was
So
really good. I think that was the only thing I
yeah,
watched.
brilliant.
Actually,
I really liked it. I thought it was brilliant. And there was an AMOC guy there. Yeah, there was an AMOC guy there, and we're chatting with V, and he goes, "AMOC's recruiting," and then looked at Carmen's name card and goes, "Except you." Oh,
yeah, we're very passionate about our corp. You know,
so it should be.
we like to bring everybody into the family. So that's how it works.
Good to hear.
We're like an Olive Garden everywhere we go. You know,
What, overpriced?
when you're here, your family. That's what I was going for. But
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
but that one seemed to have backfired a little bit.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Did we talk about the South at all?
Not really. No. What's happening in the south?
Can you bring up thoughtline?
Redline, did you DDoS me then?
No, I didn't.
As soon as I started talking about Twitch blackout, like instantly internet off.
Oh,
CCP got you, dude. You
Sorry,
bring up
Scrap. I
thoughtline.
didn't. I'm working on it. I didn't mean to. I tried to make
Don't
him less
speak to me.
smug, but I guess it didn't work.
Don't speak to me.
Oh, so sorry. All
Okay.
right, where do you want me to look in Dotland, buddy?
Hours.
I put in T2 tag.
Fun times.
That's an R. T2 tag.
Oh, it's right at the top. Most violent systems somehow.
T2 tag V8F.
Yeah.
Okay, so right here we're looking at this system.
All right, yeah.
And for
And then
what?
no, go back to the map.
Back on the map.
Back to the map. Yeah. Okay, and then can you like make it a bit bigger? I know it's difficult for you.
Age-old problem.
I know you've heard that question a few times, Marvel.
Come on now.
Thanks.
Come on now. That's not
Okay,
there.
so the
All right,
system
so what are we looking at?
The
Here?
system circled in black is 22 tag V8F, and it's where a couple of groups are staging at the moment from the Pappy side. And if you click the system,
Okay, I've clicked the system.
bring up the map. Not the map, yeah. You can see that the iHub was reinforced, and it comes out tomorrow. So that's potentially quite a big fight that's going to happen. If you go back, so we see like the wider map again. And then, so most of this region is owned by Fireco, kind of. And then in Faith of Baals, like this mostly been kind of razed to the ground by the Imperium. And so this is on a regional gate into Faith of Baals, so it's like quite a key system for holding Tenerifis. But it's like to like get in, you have to like gate shit in, right? Like I'm pretty sure you can't jump from JI into T2. You have to take the regional gate, so it's quite an interesting system to fight over, just like we had with TR07 beforehand. But what's interesting about this is that it's even further away from kind of 1DQ1 and I forgot where in its stage, my bad.
B170.
Yeah, that's it.
DP is where we stage down south.
So yeah, it was like from like a main alliance staging, so like it's much further away for like and logistics. So tomorrow will be very interesting. Yeah. Just
So
looking
we've
at
made moves
like
on this before. We've actually made moves on this system previously. I'm sure Darkshines won't mind me saying this. He said it on Mumble anyway, so like the spies on there will have got this. So we've tried to take this system previously, but unfortunately it was too heavily camped. simply because we'd done Imperium-wide pings, hyping it up, basically saying we're going to go for it. But this time it was a little bit different. Init and Imperium have both got SIGs down there. And so basically the SIGs went in initially, started to blap shit, and because it was just SIGs going in there, none of Pappy pinged very much. None of them hyped it really. As soon as we got in there, got a foothold in the system, we did coalition-wide pings and basically took the system. So yeah, this Friday is going to be very spicy.
So I can read a ping that was sent out to goons today. Love me some ping relays. So it says this Friday, 16:30 Eve onwards, strategic macro scale space. God, Matani, such a cringe lord. Strategic macro scale space violence. Be on deck for high velocity internet spaceship warfare from 16:30 Eve Friday onwards. Today we went into T2, the gateway to Tenerife, a region our friend Constantine the Sincere, I still don't know why they call him that, is quite attached to. It turns out, and set a few fires alongside Darkshines and his crew. This Friday, this critical iHub comes out, and we expect all of Pappy to come and try and stop us. Because of that, we're spectacularly in advance. There's a bunch of dumb crap which may happen this weekend in EVE Online, and we'll begin this weekend's festivities with maximum readiness and some knife twisting. I'm not kidding, we're going ham. This system is important, and I deployed tildes about it. I don't really get that bit, but yeah. And it's an all ping. Oh, okay. And it's an all ping, not just Jeff, which is the SIG for this fight. So yeah, goons are looking like they're gonna deploy the entire like alliance.
The reason they call him Constantine the whatever is because he's not. He's basically been telling people that the only reason we're attacking him is because of the war in Ukraine and all this other bullshit.
What's that got to do with being sincere?
Because he's being insincere with that.
I've not heard that. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I've certainly not heard that.
Yeah, it has. They started calling Darkshine sweaty shines and loads of other shit as well.
That's fair enough, right?
I mean, I think everybody's nickname could be Sweaty something.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweaty sewers.
But yeah, there's loads of shit that Constantine has been saying that's just downright not true or just fluff and bullshit, which is why calling him Constantine the Sincere, it's just basically taking the piss because he hasn't been for quite a while now.
Well, I'm a huge fan of separating real life and EVE Online for the most part.
Yep, completely.
So whoever's doing that on every side, and let's be honest, everyone's done it on every side at one point, right? Or every side's done it at one point. But yeah, just a frown from me about anything like that.
So yeah, everything in that system has been reinforced. The iHub has been reinforced, and this Friday is building up to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to look like there something could happen, and also something could not happen. So
yeah, we could very easily see like one side not form. Yeah, I think that's possible. Like goons might not decide to form. Pappy might not decide to form. Like it's happened from both sides in the past.
No, I don't think with the hype that's going on our side, I don't think not forming is an option.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, yeah, I don't know, maybe.
And the issue is, if Pappy doesn't form, then what's to stop us from keeping on going?
I mean, it lets you take a key system within Tenerife.
And then multiple avenues out of Tenerife as well, depending on which way we want to go. And just keep on going up that pipe.
Yeah, it's possible. Whether or not goons will do it, we shall see, I guess. I think it would be, I don't know, like it's been pretty expensive for goons so far. Like, to be honest, that's not from like subcap rules either. Like, you guys have taken like some capital brawls, which is really cool. Like, you know, like it's actually cool to see capital brawls in, you know, the spaceship game. And it's not gone very well for you guys.
Well, fortunately, we've been farming up enough Interbus coin, so when its implementation comes through, we'll be fine. Don't worry about us.
You're not supposed to tell people we've got access to it yet.
Just on sorry, circling back to FanFest. They said they're not going to monetize the one thing that I think everybody would have been okay with monetizing.
Yep. It's really dumb.
I remember thinking, if I had to pay, I don't know, for argument's sake, 5,000 plex. I mean, that's probably a bit high, but I don't know, let's say 2,000 plex a month to have corp skins available. I'd absolutely a little PVE op with the corp brings the corp together once a month, and we all get to fly in Black Amiga skins. I just thought, oh my god, you know, all these kind of swings and misses, and there's such a clear out of the park opportunity. What was that about?
It's a typical CCP bullshit setup where they overcomplicate something so you can monetize it, or you can pay for it rather. But it means you buying a Plex, going in game, selling that Plex, using the ISK that you get from that Plex to buy the ship, and then to give it to CCP for them to sell in real life. It is just typical CCP bullshit where they like you to get on some nonsense. I suppose it gives them the option of controlling how much money you pay for it as well. So
I would probably pay $500 without thinking if I could get 2 additional hangars for my corp, my alt corp. Like stuff like that. Why can't they monetize something like that?
And it doesn't affect anyone else. Like, there's so many avenues they can take. Just fucking, I don't understand.
The Path of Exile model. The Path of Exile model is the right model to go with, in my opinion.
Can you elaborate on that for people who don't know?
Yeah, Path of Exile. So they have things like skins. Everybody's familiar with skins in Eve and in Path of Exile. They have a lot of skins that you can purchase.
Yeah, I've got 4 of them.
Yeah, and they all look really good. The exception is most of them look pretty fucking good. So, second part is activation. How do you say it? Like attack animation action, like special effects and shit like that. You can purchase skins for those as well. And the third thing is utility interface, like different storage compartments and just things that make organization of all your items and assets much easier. All 3 of those things could easily be, well, I say easily, but they can be applied to EVE Online. And Path of Exile seems to do pretty well with that model. So I don't know why it can't be applicable to EVE as well.
The amount I would pay to have a fucking neon cat, like fucking jet plume, where I'm shitting rainbows everywhere I go in EVE, like the amount that I would pay for that.
I got one for you. No, a special hangar you can purchase that organizes all your fucking Blueprint originals.
How about this? Pay 20% of the item value once a year to move your shit to Jita. As long as it's not in an enemy-controlled station.
Yeah. I suggested that before, like an NPC thing that you pay, I don't know, some fucking coin shit to that you pay for, and they literally just go around and collect your shit.
I kind of feel like that's a terrible idea, though.
That's given in-game advantage, though. You're paying for an advantage on that part.
But you could limit it to just Empire, not Null-sec. Like, I would gladly pay for that.
As much as, like, I would find that super fucking useful, like, there's, like, a whole player-ran, like, service industry for that, like, problem, right? And I feel like you would kind of...
I agree with you. And weapons grade and competence great name,
But
has just pointed out the same thing. But say, for example, it goes into some kind of asset safety for 2 months. Like, you don't pay couriers to move anything that you don't need moved soon, right? Like well, I mean, this isn't a hill I'm willing to die on, but just random bullshit, like the 100 units of EMP or the the claws or the crows that you don't want to trash.
if I could pay couriers to go through my entire fucking inventory in Empire, collect all of it, and stick it in one station, I would. But that's not an option. And I'm not going through my fucking inventory in Eve, just basically doing it with courier contracts. If I could pay an NPC to do that, and I don't really care what I pay them to do. If I pay them to create a contract to a fucking courier, fine. I don't care. It's
I
just
think
the
that's
amount of effort that goes into actually sorting out all the shit in every station.
But the only
I
thing
think
is, you
that
cross
is
over
like
into the line. You cross over the line of which you're impacting what someone in game may actually do, such as courier contracts, and that is an advantage you gain by paying CCP directly. So that falls into the category of
Do
play
that by
pay to win.
class.
I
You do
see
that
what
by
you're saying
class.
now, and like one thing that CCP could do, and it's kind of really bad idea, but you could allow the creation of contracts via ESI. You
Auto
could
contract,
improve, you could improve the UI in game for like creation of contracts, and this kind of comes on to one thing that they kind of hinted at, which was like session chart timers, right? Obviously, like those are one of these like really annoying things, and they mentioned like, hey, we're looking at whether or not they'll ever fucking fix that. I don't know, but
I don't think they can, like, from
No.
a technical perspective.
yeah, maybe that was just a pipe dream. But like, if these like QLL changes, like, and another one someone mentioned in the chat was like group shared hangers, so you don't need like corp to be in the same corp to share hangers, for example. Like shit like that would just make the game like so
Well,
much nicer.
I think
ACL sorry.
I was just going to quickly say, programming or coding group hangers would be a disaster for you, because every time you dock up, you would have to register everybody's group hanger that's registered on that ESI for that hanger participant, whatever the fuck it works.
But they're doing
So
that anyway.
Yeah, I think they could do it, and you would just have and you just like say, "Hey, I want a hanger," and then you tie it to like an access list.
Yeah, but why?
Access hangers is so high on my list.
Yeah, it would be really nice.
I just think that that's one of those coding things. Like, you're going to run into an issue of code. I'm trying to think of straightforward, like, no coding impedance.
I don't think it cause lag.
I think it's a relatively simple feature in terms of the ratio of value it would provide to the player base and the amount of effort it would require, right? Whereas stuff like retooling the MPE, which obviously isn't aimed at player base, but like it's a huge amount of work for CCP and very little value to the existing player base. And what other weird changes have they done?
I don't think anybody's arguing. Everybody is completely open and supportive of new player experiences. I don't think any veteran player has an issue with
I
new
agree.
player
Yep.
but immediately right after that, if this was like the top 5 priorities, immediately after new player experience should be like veteran player at this point of the timeline.
Well, given like the anger of some of the like communities and the lack of trust and frustration, like I'd like to hope it was relatively high on their list of priorities, because there's a lot of angry people.
We're go ahead.
Well, what
go
do you
ahead.
hear, right? Like when people come to Eve, you see it on Reddit, you hear it in personal stories. Why do you start playing Eve? I read about this massive, wonderful thing that happened in PC Gamer or wherever, and you need. I absolutely 100%, as we all do, agree that the lifeblood of Eve is new players. But as someone said earlier, the beating heart that creates this content that brings in the new players are the veterans.
Yeah, like CCP should look at the veteran community as essentially an equal to their marketing department, right? Like dedicate the dev timing and expenses to the veteran player equal to like whatever you would give a marketing department in your corporation, because we essentially create and generate all those press-worthy news stories, or we're the ones who are telling our friends about the game that we've played for so long that they should get into, et cetera, et cetera.
We also bring people back. I've had
Yeah.
4 or 5 dudes literally this week for some reason resub and join Corp from various different locations.
But we're also the ones that tell CCP they're not really doing the job that they should be doing, and that ruffles some feathers and that causes animosity.
You're in the video gaming industry, for fuck's sake. Like, you should know at this point, as long as he's been going, you're going to have passionate people who are going to provide what in their minds is constructive criticism, right?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people there, development, especially in games, you get kind of like a rock star mentality where you've got all these like players vying for your attention. They think of you as some fucking amazing person. Oh my god, you're working on this game. So egos do typically get inflated on the other side of shit like this. And then you've got, when that happens, it's easier to insult people. It's easier to cause them personal insult. And then you've got the fact that there's people who've been playing this game for longer than certain developers have been working at CCP, telling those devs that, look, this is bullshit, this is crap, why are you even doing this, what are you doing? And they get insulted. And the problem is they take it personally, and I've spoken to multiple devs who've done this, and they don't see it for what it is. It's a passionate player who's literally in love with Eve, literally adores Eve, and is annoyed at what they're doing with it. And they can't differentiate.
Sorry, I thought you'd finished there. I do think though that that people with a degree in game development should never take what players say as gospel. I'm not saying that players can't come up with great ideas, but it does feel like a lot of players get butthurt over the fact that their ideas are not put into practice when they just don't understand. I'm a software developer, but I'm not a game developer, and they're two very, very different disciplines.
Also remember that we talk about players as like an homogenous group, and even CCP is an homogenous group, but they're not. CCP have probably got 10, 20 different types of player that's telling them to do the complete opposite to what the last person told them. So it's really hard for them to get a grasp on what, and this comes from inside of alliances as well. People on the same side, people in the same area to Revive, they're telling CCP things that completely negate what the player before them told them, or completely just obliterate what some other players told them. So it's not easy, and I don't envy them one bit, but they could be doing so much better at it.
There's a few things that have been iterated on a number of times over the last spanning 6 years or so that I think the message, the trend of messaging regarding certain game implementations have been fairly common for the last 6 years or so, that I think that they should prioritize. And then when new ideas come in, maybe throw those on the list after those prioritized ones that have been talked about for the last years in a row.
What I will say, though, that I think I can say this with absolute 100% confidence, and if you guys disagree, then please speak up. But what CCP is absolutely fucking shit at is communication and managing expectations.
Amen.
If they had gone into this FanFest and said, hey, look, we have been creating and designing all the tools to rapidly deploy changes going forwards, which they kind of hinted at but didn't make a big deal of, I think everyone would have went, all right, but I get it, and the whole, Paragon's biggest content change the game's ever seen, he's ever seen. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible communication.
Yeah, and the thing, like with this new event now, this event should have been started fucking ages ago. My guess, or rather my intuition, shall we call it? There are new ships coming. There are new ships designed. They're going to be the new pirate factions. So we're going to get new ships. But CCP mentioned it twice, and probably in past, it wasn't even like the main focus of what they were saying. Um, my opinion, they should have started this event fucking ages ago, completed the event, and just before FanFest happened, started the second event where we're going to get the ships. Players decide which ships we get, and that's decided in the 2-day period that FanFest is going. You've got new content there. There's new ships. You're basically deciding in game which ones you get first, but they didn't. It's so pathetic.
It's kind of random, but it's on topic. Swaz, I have a question for you as a software programmer.
Yeah, sure.
Is there something advantageous or more efficient about implementing different like number attributes as divisible by 5?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so
I mean, for a human, it's very easy to count in 5s, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm just wondering why CCP over years, whenever they implement new balance changes, it's always indivisibles of 5. Why can't they like use a 2 or a 3 or something that would be more reasonable and make it work and come out superior in terms of our expectations? But instead, they always use 5 or 10 or 25% changes, and that's why we have such balance issues that exist in the game right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a numbers man in Eve. I imagine it may have something to do with, again, the kind of ease of counting. 2s, 3s, and 5s are really easy to count in from a traditional learning point of view. I did some teacher training.
I think it's also so you actually see an effect, because the thing is, if you put in something 2-3%, you may see a slight difference, but not that much. Whereas with 5%, there's more chance of there actually being statistics pumped out at the other end. And just to bring up on my last point, I'm saying that the situation is pathetic, not people at CCP are pathetic, just so I can clarify that.
Oh, CCP apologize.
Like my biggest, so I wrote down a couple of things before FanFest that I wanted, and the number one thing, the very, very first thing, is literally the most fundamental aspect of EVE Online: risk versus reward. Like, this game's risk v reward at the moment is so fucked. You can go to Empire, do abyssals, and make more money there than you can doing crab sites, basically locked down in your dreadnought in Null-sec.
Really? I didn't realise it was that
Literally,
bad.
it's insane. The amount of money you can pump out in abyssals right now, like triple boxing a T5, like easy, fucking easy. And it's been made easier with the reduction of the resistances as well. The amount of money you can make from that is insane. Yet you've got more at risk doing a dread in a crab in Null-sec for less return. And I think this is something that CCP can't ignore it, and they can't keep adding shit on top of it, because it just creates even more work down the road. They literally need to balance everything on risk versus reward in regards to abyssals across all of EVE before they even try to add more content, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and that I mean that unintentionally that brings it back to my previous mention of the 10 divisible by 5s. Like everything, if you go back to like the Rorqual income generation or the bounties from rats and stuff generation, everything gets all 10 to 20%. Why just like a 3%? I bet a 3% would probably equal it with high sec and null sec in terms of revenue generation. The risk versus reward still there. That's what I'm saying. Their balancing is very it needs finer detail versus.
I unironically would argue that running an abyssal, sorry, no, a crab beacon with a decent umbrella and a sino is safer than running an abyssal in Empire. Just for the record,
the speed that you can kill dreads with bombers at the moment, no, that even with an umbrella, like you're gonna take that dread out in a minute,
what
probably less.
even post changes?
Post change, yeah, even post changes. Like bombers do
How many bombers are you
insane
talking?
damage. What was it I saw the other day? It was like 20, 25 frat bombers.
What
And it's
1 minute?
literally about probably a little bit more, but just to get a response fleet into that situation, you're talking at least 2 to 3 minutes.
Well,
it's already dead.
no, you're not talking too. Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to be contrary, but I don't think you're talking 2 to 3 minutes. Like you should see the sun go up, like your own Sino. But I don't disagree. So I thought that'd be a bit more. Like I don't disagree. It's really difficult to save that dread. Yeah.
Pancrab is
Okay.
kind of unique as well in terms of like its ability to respond like very, very fast.
But I imagine goons have got something similar, right?
They
They're
have
still
to
losing
form
dreads.
they have to form a mainline fleet to do it.
Okay,
That's
Pancrab's
the thing.
really good.
Init is still losing dreads. Like Frat still losing dreads. Like Pandemic Horde, permanent standing fleet up, still losing dreads. Still losing Rorquals with the fight with the fucking panic. You know what I mean? Like these umbrellas aren't what they used to be.
Okay. I thought
I don't think it's necessarily umbrella versus just how easy it is to fucking blow shit up that are like massive in size.
But that's what we all ask for, right? We want to be able to blow stuff up.
You guys know it
Yeah.
not easy.
You're cringe.
Streaming while you're sick.
Oh dear.
So
Carrying your red line is fine.
I would like to do some final thoughts and then take my sick ass to bed. That's okay with you guys?
I want to go to bed.
I have it fixed to where we can do final thoughts while the stream ending graphic is on. I fixed it. So I'm gonna put that on the screen now. And then if you guys have any final thoughts, take like 5 minutes, go for it. It's all you. I'll rate us out.
Cringe. On the topic of like dreads dying, like they did fix the fact that you could run the crab beacons with like a carrier and a pause, or yeah, they at least made some changes to it because that's what a lot of people were doing for a while. You'd have like a super or a carrier in a pause, and you would trigger the crab beacon, and you just run it from like the edge of the pause shield, and you'd basically be invincible. And they fixed that, hopefully.
No, they did, because they made it so that you have to be 30,000 kilometers away from a pause. But carriers can still target out that far, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to do it, you could still do it.
My final thought. Bill, do you want to go?
No, you go ahead.
It's what is it? It's like 3 a.m. in the UK, so I'm gonna pop to bed after this. But
you and me both, and not together, obviously.
Are you sure? Just watch your bed when you go there.
Come on now.
Well, hello.
So yeah, I'm a cynic, and I've been a cynic for a while now, simply because of the way CCP has treated Eve for a considerable amount of time. Having heard things internally as well and things that have leaked, I've been somewhat deflated. But after speaking to people recently, seeing a few changes as well, I am hopeful that things can get better. I hope things can get better, but the only way that can actually happen is if CCP get off the train of only focusing on new players. New players are amazing. We need them. We want to keep them. Retention is extremely important, but CCP need to do a 2-track development as opposed to a single track. Otherwise, you're just going to continue to piss off veterans and you look at Reddit, Reddit is not a good advertisement for CCP at the moment. It's not a good advertisement for EVE Online. If you're a person that's never seen EVE before, you've got interested, you've come to the Reddit, you look at it, you think, oh, fuck that, and you go and play Final Fantasy.
I'd try and close EVE Reddit if I was CCP.
I just want to say that I've been playing EVE for pretty much fucking half of my life, and it's a very big part of my life at this point. As nerdy and as ridiculous as that sounds, but I hope that the game direction from this point going forward changes in a way that keeps people like myself and thousands of others like me around.
And on that note, I think we'll be out. So we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all of the needful. And say hello to Iron Bandit for me. See ya.
Bye.